Two things to very quickly say to you. Number one is that Apprentice Joe is now running the desk.
I am.
Good luck, everybody.
No pressure. No pressure.
No, you'll be fine, Joe. Don't worry. And number two is that now, finally, it is time for this week's Grumpy Old Man Corner. Right, now, when I were a lad, right, sorry, I've not got anything prepared this week, so I don't know what I'm going to say. Dump it. I've kind of exhausted my well of appalling Yorkshire accents. I need to think more about those. So this is Grumpy Old Man Corner. It's our opportunity just to moan our way through the last 15 minutes or so of the show, which we all like to do from time to time. We're all grumpy.
Loose. Cut loose and
just cut loose with the old grumpiness.
Yeah,
sure. We were thinking of renaming this feature the Grump Off.
The Grump. I like it.
That's pretty much what we did last week.
Make a bit like competitive moaning.
Competitive grumping.
Yeah.
We'd all do very well at that. So, who would like to go first? Joe, you have an email in front of you. Why don't you read that first?
Right. Well, this email is from Dan, and he actually sent it last week, but we didn't have enough time to read it out.
No.
So
we were replete with suggestions for grumpiness last week.
And so this is Dan's suggestion. He says, you can buy certain trading cards or plastic figures for up to £2.99. He says they probably only cost 2B to make, and instead I could buy lunch or even a loaf of bread and a pat of butter. I think what Dan's trying to say is that things are overpriced.
Well, it's funny because this was discussed at some length last week, wasn't it? The cost of everything.
Yeah.
It's all too expensive. Don't go as far these days, does it?
It doesn't stretch so far.
When I were a lad, you could get to town and take lass to cinema for halfpenny and still have time for a bag of chips on way home and
with your
bus
sixpence.
Fare. With your sixpence home, get bus fare and enough to, I don't know, put oil in car or something. I don't know.
In the days when that's
buy a new prefab for 12 quid. You could in them days.
Well, it is true though. Things are overpriced.
Things are extremely overpriced. This came because I was charged $17.95 for a watch battery.
Gee.
Yeah. See, there you go. Yeah. That's exactly what I did. Only with more swearing. Do you know what? Yeah. I said the watch didn't cost that. Seriously. Yeah. Anyway, that was last week's grumpiness. Yeah. Dan, thank you for your continuing contributions to Grumpy Old Man Corner. Much appreciated.
Sorry we couldn't read it out last week.
No, we didn't get to it last week, but it has pride of place as first grump this week. So, do you mind if I go first? I'd like to go first.
No, go for it.
Because here is what has annoyed me this week. Now, the observant among you, gentlemen, will have noticed that this week we've had a small amount of snow in certain parts of the country.
Yeah, noted.
Just a tiny bit. I think the drifts were only about 4 feet high in places in Cumbria.
Right.
So you may have failed to spot it, with the blanket media coverage as well. But you may have noticed that there was a little bit of snow in certain parts of the country this week. And yet, TV weathermen insist on telling you, when they've told you that it's going to be -8 and snowing in your part of the world, they insist on telling you, with a little cheeky laugh, make sure you wear a jumper this week. I know it's stupid. It just drives me bananas. It makes me want to throw food at the telly. Because, you look out your window and it's snowing.
Check.
Right?
Yep.
Right, okay.
Yep.
You watch the TV and you have the weather forecast and it says it will be -10 this week, and you can see the isobars and the little wind map thing that says 200 mile an hour wind and the little temperature thing that's in the blue for minus temperatures. And yet they insist on saying to you, make sure you wear a jumper, or if it's raining and they've just predicted an Asian monsoon over Bradley Stoke, they say, make sure you take an umbrella with you. And it drives me bananas. I just think, there's two reasons why it annoys me. Number one is that I think it just assumes that we're stupid. That's the thing that really annoys me.
You're not got to be Einstein.
You don't have to be told to take an umbrella if you've just been told it's going to rain all day tomorrow, right? But also, I think it's just very patronising. And there's a part of me that when I hear it, I suppose it's the really grumpy old part of me, but when I hear it, I just think, no, I'm going to do the opposite of what you tell me. I don't care if it's snowdrifts. I'm going out in a vest and shorts, because don't tell me what to wear. You're a weatherman. Read the weather and I'll decide what to wear.
Exactly.
It's a fair point.
I think so.
That annoys me. An unfeasibly large amount when I see that.
Yeah.
And particularly when it's accompanied by the fake chuckle. The fake chuckle just annoys me anyway in any context.
Just can't that fake chuckle. It'd be a move in the right direction.
The fake chuckle does annoy me. And I know we talked at some length after Connor's epic, now legendary, missive about the automated scanning machines, self-checkouts in Tesco's, which was the stuff of which grumpy old man dreams are made of, quite frankly.
It's what it's based on, right? The whole feature.
A superb rant. But part of the thing in that annoys me is that machine does the fake laugh as well.
Really?
Really?
Oh, yeah. Listen carefully. I think it's Sainsbury's, but I might be wrong. It goes, thank you for using the checkout.
Oh, no.
No.
Thank you for using the checkout. That's what thank you for using the checkout. We'll be fine.
That's polite. That suffices.
I hate that enforced pleasantness. I hate that enforced...
That's because you're a grumpy old
man.
I
know. But I hate that. Whenever you hear that, and advertising does it a lot as well.
You want a bit of sincerity.
Well, just be honest with me.
Yeah, and don't treat you like a fool.
Bring the whole family. That sort of thing. It just drives me crazy. Anyway, so I think the subtle hint this week about the weather was it was blanket coverage. Let's be fair. As soon as it snows in this country, a bomb could drop on Wales and we wouldn't hear about it because it's just all we talk about is the weather.
It is the weather.
The first time the buses are cancelled, that's it. 18 days of front page news. When will it end? And
the whole country goes into lockdown.
It does. It does.
Standstill.
The Daily Mail and all that. We're in the Stone Age and whatever else. So therefore, you couldn't fail to notice it is very, very cold outside. I will need to wear a jumper. Right? This is not a dramatic, intelligent leap that we have to make here.
No.
And yet the weathermen insist on telling me wear a jumper, and it just annoys me. It just annoys me. I know it's stupid, but it just annoys me.
I couldn't tell.
Well, thank you. Sorry, how many hours did that go on for?
Well, you took up a whole song. So
did I? I went through a whole bed link with that. Well, there we are. So, can I just say as well, thank you. I don't think you were here, Rob, but 2 weeks ago we had an email. Was it 2 weeks ago, Joe, or last week? We had an email from Rich Niblett.
It was 2 weeks ago.
Okay,
was
Rich,
who is our
album anthology
colleague,
show.
Album Anthology on BSR, which is an excellent show on Tuesday nights, by the way. And thank you. Corporate plug for me, Joe.
Yeah.
There we go. But he sent one in which was about packaging. Specifically packaging that claims to be easy to open and isn't, which I have to say was brilliant.
Yes.
It was
very good.
Go on, Joe.
It was the most incredible rant I've seen.
It was.
It takes grumpiness to a new level.
Well, I thought I was good at this grumping stuff, but Rich would have beat me in a grump off that week.
When you meet him, he's not grumpy at all.
I know.
You just say he's a very positive, happy-go-lucky guy.
Positive individual. But what he was talking about in particular was, when you buy a USB stick, a flash drive, and it comes in that packaging where it's kind of sealed around the edges. And the idea is you just unseal it and pull it apart.
Quite easily.
And when have you ever been able to do that without cutting your fingers to ribbons?
And half an hour later, still being there.
I take a knife to it now. As soon as I see that, I don't even try and open. I just cut it with a knife because
Yeah, fair enough.
And resealable things that are supposed to be resealed, but you can't get them open in the first place. So therefore, you take a knife to it. Again, there's a theme developing here.
And then you can't reseal it.
And then you can't reseal it anyway.
In other words, the solution to all of life's problems, well, not all of them, but most of them, is take a knife.
Anything that you can't get open, just take a knife to it.
Yeah, it's good that you re-clarify
that. I was going to say, put a caveat in there, Joe.
I did realise after I said
be careful how you say that.
I'm not encouraging knife crime or anything.
No, well done. Well, we're very pleased to hear it. We don't encourage that.
Only if you're a bit of packaging that needs opening. Exactly. Take a knife to it.
Take a knife to the packaging. But mind your fingers, of course, because health and safety, we wouldn't want any accidents, would we? Sorry. I should say, we wouldn't want any accidents, would we? So that's how I should say it, honestly.